Welcome to The Pluralist with your host, the second most humblest man in Tennessee, Ralph Bristol. I remember when Phil Dunphy did that on Modern Family. It was one of the funniest scenes ever, but I don't think that quite works. But if you want me to continue to do that, I'll be happy to do so. I am Ralph Bristol. I'm the Pluralist. This is part 2. Is it the truth? Thank you for watching part 1, Pluralism 101. It is still available online if you missed it. If you see this one, you say, wait a minute, what this all about? And you want to back up and start with Pluralism 101, you can. This is part 2. I'm Ralph Bristol. And I want to start today with the 4 principles of Rotary. One of the things on the wall behind me here is a plaque with a gavel representing the years that I served as president of the Donaldson Hermitage Rotary Club. So if you're a current Rotary member or a former Rotary member, say it along with me. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? It occurred to me last week as I was reminiscing about my days in Rotary that those are not just 4 principles of Rotary International with 1.4 million members. They should be the goals of American politicians as they write laws for us. They are the goals of pluralism as I described it in the first part of this series, which is still available on my Facebook page. First, is it the truth? You can't accomplish fairness if you don't know and accept the truth. Sure, but how can anyone know the truth today when so much of the media is all just a one-sided message? That's a fair question. Because the answer is we can't always know exactly what is true and what is not. But if we strive to be objective in our study of the question, we're going to have a better chance of finding the truth. It takes some work, and it takes as much objectivity as you can muster in order to have a genuine search for and find at least something close to the truth. But even if we, the people, have trouble finding the truth in our media, our lawmakers don't have to rely on the media. They have taxpayer-funded employees, we pay for them, who can help them do all the research necessary to find the truth if that is what they are looking for. Too many lawmakers today act pretty much like most of the media, slanting all information to conform to what their constituents or their P1s, viewers, want to believe. As a recovering talk show host, and I mean that literally, I am intimately familiar with the business model, and it is part of what is corroding the democracy part of our constitutional democratic republic, and that will be the subject of next week's Pluralist. If you and I vote for a representative, I'm getting ahead of myself here. If you genuinely search for the truth, rather than for your support of what you already believe or what you want to believe to be true, then you're more likely to be better informed, and so will your lawmakers. If you and I vote for representatives who are genuinely in search of the truth, we have done our most important role. We've done our most important duty as a voter. Second, is it fair to all concerned? Now, if the question were, will it seem fair to all concerned, that would pose a goal that is probably unattainable. But to the question, is it fair to all concerned? The answer can be yes, if those making the decision if they are determined to base their decisions on the truth. On occasion, this may require some of the representatives to explain to some of their constituents why they believe it is fair when their constituents don't believe so. That's tough. Few members of Congress are willing to accept the truth on behalf of their constituents if their constituents are not willing to accept the truth. It is much easier to go along with what one's constituents or one's audience believe or want to believe, even if it's not the whole truth or even the truth at all. Bottom line, if you're willing to accept the truth, your representative will be more likely to also. Defying constituents is asking a lot of members of Congress, but the Constitution, not constituents, comes first. To members of Congress, I would say, don't seek to take that pledge if you don't mean it. Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? You can't have fairness without the truth, and you can't have goodwill and better friendships without fairness. The key to enduring coexistence of two or more states, groups, principles, sources of authority, etc., the definition of pluralism, is goodwill and better friendships. Obviously, a society is going to last longer if there's goodwill and better friendships than it will if there's chaos and riots and revolution. You can't have fairness without the truth. Can't have goodwill and better friendships without fairness. Our laws often do the opposite of goodwill and better friendships, especially when passed by just one party. If laws do the opposite of building goodwill and better friendships, our lawmakers are not doing their job, which means we are electing the wrong lawmakers, which means too many of us are not actually looking to build goodwill and better friendships. Until that changes, nothing will. Will it be beneficial to all concerned? The fourth principle of Rotary, the fourth principle, I think, also of pluralism, and it should be the fourth principle of the government that governs the most pluralist society in the world, the United States of America. Now, will a bid be beneficial to all concerned? That may sound like an impossible task when people have diametrically opposing views on public policy, but 1.4 million Rotarians pledge every week to try to accomplish that. It's not too much to ask the 535 representatives in Congress to at least try to do the same. Not expecting them to succeed all the time, but for that to be their goal. Admittedly, even a Congress full of true-believing Rotarians who insist on seeking the truth, fairness, goodwill, better friendships, and benefits to all concerned in public policy could not please all of the people all of the time, but they would come a lot closer to pleasing most of the people most of the time than any Congress has done in recent memory. You and I make deals routinely who are beneficial to all concerned. I made a deal with Kroger recently to trade $12 for 4 50-ounce bottles of laundry detergent. And I got some laundry detergent at half price, and Kroger got me in the store to also buy some vegetables, some cheese, some sausage, and biscuits at the same time instead of shopping for those items in another store. It helps that I don't really give a rodent's rectum about the political, religious, and other views of Kroger, nor they mine. We keep politics out of trade. The political system crafted by the U.S. Constitution is not an us versus them system. It's an us and them system, just like my grocer and me, in which deals include value for both us and them. Can Congress make those kind of deals for the people it represents? If not, why not? My theory is because too many people have been taught, often by the media and their friends, that the only acceptable outcome in politics and public policy is victory over the opposing person or party. Members of Congress are simply mirroring the views and the attitudes of their constituents. The word compromise has come to mean something that conservatives consider just a slow walk to socialism, and progressives reject as oppressive delay in their right to something they need or want. Moderates often boast that when they help pass laws that please neither side, that That's a good thing. They consider that to be an accomplishment. A deal that pleases neither side is not an accomplishment. It is a failure. Pleasing just one side or neither side are both recipes for constant upheaval, violence, and revolution by factions who feel oppressed. For a democratic republic to survive, the federal government must strive to make laws that are a good deal for all of the people at the table. And that can happen, but only if it starts with the truth. That's all for this week. Next week, part 3 deals with the wrong business model. But before I go, I'd like to address one comment that came in after I posted the transcript of part 1, Pluralism 101. You can also find that on Facebook at Ralph Bristol. Gary wrote that I left God out of my message. He elaborated, but that was the gist of it, to which I replied, if you can't see God in the words that I write and speak, one of us is indeed failing. I'll keep trying. I hope you will too. Thanks for watching. I'm Ralph Bristol, the Pluralist.